What's up, Sportman family? It's your boy Sparkman, and welcome back to another Market Watch. First up on the docket is, yes, Gem Knight cards, because we are apparently getting some new Gem Knight support. As a nostalgic fan myself, and one of my best friends always playing Gem Knights, it's always awesome to see older archetypes getting some new support in current modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! And usually, when we see that happen, we see older cards tend to go up very high in price. Considering all things here, the Gem Knight cards don't look that bad in price, considering some of these cards are from dual terminal as well. So, I mean, talk about hard to get, almost impossible to get these days. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to everybody, great prices. If you're looking to play Gem Knights in the future, possibly great prices to start picking them up right now before they start to even spike further up. But hey, that's just me giving you some good advice with 7 listings, 13, very low listings all around, 5 listings. Be on the lookout for these start to really spike in price as we move on to the further weeks here. Nekroz getting some support as well, and we're starting to see some prices increase as well. Low listings as well, 11 listings, 13, 9, 15. So be on the lookout for this one to continue to increase as well. Again, when you get cards that are getting some support, whether they be an older archetype or even newer archetype, they're going to start increasing because they see as playable, more hype, more considering moving meta shift into what that archetype can be or consider to be top tier at some point, maybe down in the future. Considering ban lists, considering all these things, people get hype, people get crazy, so the price starts to increase. So these are types of things you start to look out for, and that's why we try to tell everybody to try to pick up things at a cheaper price point when it's at a cheaper price point, because then when you have the spike, you're not gonna really want to buy on the spike, because then you're gonna be like, oh man, the price is too much here. So that's why we always try to cover these cards before it's too late. And now it's too late for Nekroz, as it's starting to increase much more heavily than it should in price as well. Secret 6 Samurai Hatsume is something we covered a month ago, and I did cover all the 6 Samurai cards repetitively on Market Watch, because I said 6 Samurai is getting some new support, so people are going to go crazy for the older cards as well, because it has been a while since they got, reprinted or printed at that. So, with that being said, Hatsume is now on its way up. A card that was once $7. Yeah, look at that, $7. Now at $20. So, we did cover this one as well. We covered Kazari when it was at 14, I believe. 14, and now it's at where? $40. So, I mean, no surprise with this one. We talked about it in the last Market Watch. All these 6 Samurai cards are starting to go up. Asceticism is starting to go up as well. And even a Kizan. A Kizan was around $2 for the super rare. Now we're looking at $6 for the one from Storm of Ragnarok, $4 for the one from Spare Warriors, and even the common is starting to go up as well. So, crazy stuff now for the 6 Samurai market. And like I said, no surprise with this one. We did cover this multiple times last month. Orcust, we covered this card when it was at $35, $40. Now guess what, everybody? Yes, new Orcust support coming out, $140 freaking dollars. That's insane to me. But yes, that is where the price point is right now. But yes, we covered it when it was around here, $35. And I said to everybody, hey, could be a time to pick it up if I were you. And guess what happened? 40, 50, 60, now 100. So it's only gone up since we've talked about it, and hopefully you listened. One thing I want to talk about is Rage of the Abyss, obviously one of the newer sets. We're starting to see some price point increases. Dominus Impulse starting to make its way up. You saw a little decline, but now it's seeing the price point increase after the YCS Niagara Falls, and no surprise, again, with a lot of the meta cards now being seen played as a necessity for a lot of these decks, these cards are starting to see an increase in price as well. Now, the Ultras are very dirt cheap, and something that you should keep an eye on as well, as I always recommend picking up a bunch of these Ultras just to hold on to, because you never know what might happen, especially for $1 or less copies for a lot of the Ultra Rares. Why not? If the price point gets to your favor, I mean, it's going to be really nice to be having cards picked up at 50 cents and now maybe at $5 in the future. Not bad. I would definitely consider doing that if I were you. We always talk about, these tins being an absolute atrocious these past few years. Well, not this year. The value has been insane this year, and we've seen it, and we've talked about it, that yes, the ratios were not in our favor. We were upset about it. We were angry about it. But if you held onto this case sealed, if you held onto some of these cards, you're starting to see the price point even escalate further in your direction. And we're starting to see the sealed cases now that was 174 at the first week of release, now at 194, a $20 increase of once where it once was. And now we're going to start seeing this one to increase even more because we don't know when we're getting further reprints of a SP Knight, of Triple Tactics Thrust, of all these other cards, Chaos Angel, Wanted, Bonfire, Diabellstar. Well, actually, no, we're getting Bellstar and multiple things, actually. Gloria Horus, Star Slayer, Bishop Dissipator, all these cards that are necessities. They are cards that people need for their decks, their extra deck. It's going to be very much hard to get in something like these tins. So now we're looking forward to another reprint. But with that being said, we don't know when we're getting it. So now we have to rely on these tins to try to pull the cards or buy the cards. And yes, they will start to escalate even further up in price, as we just mentioned, as the sealed case and sealed value of the tins are starting to go up as well. Now, something to keep an eye on, something to start buying into, because we're getting, that new tier 1, tier 0 type of deck with Raziel. People are starting to say, okay, we're going to need to buy some things on the cheaper end of things. Number 1 or 2 is one of those cards, because yes, it's a cheap card. It's $1 card right now. Why wouldn't you buy it? If you know it's going to be very impactful later on, buy it while it's cheap. Don't buy it when it's on its spike. As we just talked about, other cards on its way up. Now, get these cards while it's cheap, so that way you don't have to pay the high price point. That's why we cover these cards on Market Watch, to help you, help the viewer, help the fans, help the community, help everybody that's trying to buy into the newer meta decks. Number C102 has got a buyout, so I don't know about this one anymore because the buyout is absolutely insane, as this card was what? Yes, about $2. Now we're seeing $30 for the Ultimate Rare. Now, there are cheaper copies, obviously not being the Ultimate Rare, but keep in mind, if you did want the high rarity, yeah, that's gone, way gone now at this point, as the Ultimate Rare is just way too high at this point, and now you're going to have to look towards the Super Rare copies of this card, which, again, it's a Super Rare, not bad, right? Not common, not the Ultimate Rare, but it's still something, still some holographic towards it, right? So, not terrible in a sense of that, but yes, the $2 Ultimate Rare is no longer $2. Number 105 is something to look forward to as well. Just something to consider picking up. Number 70, something to consider picking up as well. Yes, I know it's not the cheapest card, but yes, it is definitely cheaper than what's going to be in the future. So keep in mind of all these things moving forward. There are 34 listings of it right now. Expect those listings to start dropping immediately, as well as all these other listings as well we're covering. Number 104, yes, it's a rare. I understand it's a rare, but it's an expensive rare because it's never been reprinted, and at $5 on a card that's going to be a necessity in the future is something to consider picking up as well. Fiendsmith Engraver is actually on its way down. Guess what, everybody? A card that we talked about being very prevalent, very relevant here in the meta, not as much anymore, as we're looking at prices under $63, which is absolutely wild at this point, because a card that was really, valuable and really seen as much used here in the past few months, now seeing a complete dip in where once was at. So really crazy things to see here, but if you're trying to pick up Engraver, might be the time, especially since it's under $63. That's insane. Phantom of Yubel, another card that is, we're high up there in price at $40, $50. Now we're seeing under $21 for this one, $24 in other listings here. So definitely much more affordable when it was once at $40 or $50. So incredible prices here for the meta as well. But again, some of these cards are going to be kind of getting out the scene as well, as we're looking towards other bigger types of decks coming in, like Raziel, like Azamina, like all these other things. So just be aware that, yes, there is a meta shift coming, and power creep does happen when a new set does come out, and, that's just the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, it sucks that we can't have these decks continuing to do well, because, again, when you have other things coming, new sets, and, Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami trying to push other avenues of other cards to make them more meta, make them even stronger than what the format is right now, it's going to see prices of decreases of other things here that was once high as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Dimensional Barrier, a card that is a very good card, I should say. Now starting to see a little bit of a buyout, but also a price increase as well. So we're only a couple away from above $30 and $40 even. So just be aware of that moving forward, that this card is expected to even be a further increase in price as the QCR from the 25th anniversary collection is on its way up. Yubel, the QCR as well, is going down now. So if something that you are considering picking up for your collection, or just something that you wanted, yes, it's on its way down, and maybe time to pick it up as you may be adding this one to a really cool collection of yours, because as the deck and the archetype starts to see its way out the door, things in that archetype are going to start seeing its decrease in price as well. That being even collection pieces like the QCR here in Yubel, the Loving Defender Forever. Ultimate Slayer starting to see its way up as well. Insane, right? We talked about this one a few weeks ago, and yes, at $76, $14.15 is now where it once at. So crazy stuff. So expect this one to continue going up as well. And the last thing we're covering on today's Market Watch is, of course, Dragon Master Magia, however you want to say it, the Magia watch. It is insane that this card is now above $1,100 and consistently selling for that price as well, as we have a few listings at that price point, but also listings that are being sold for above $1,100. So this one's continuously going up. I keep saying it. I don't see this card being this price point, but if you do have it, sell it, because why not make a little bang for your buck? And it's a beautiful card. Nonetheless, it's a great card. It's a good collection piece. I just don't see this card being that much high of a valuation moving forward, as this card most likely, and I will bite my tongue, I will let you yell at me if it doesn't, but I really do feel this one will get reprinted, as Konami has showed time and time again, they do not care about the collection market, they do not care about the collector, so I see them valuing things like sets in the future to put this card in, and that's most likely what they're going to do in the future, so don't be mistaken that they really do care about that market. They don't. They've showed it time and time again that they really do not care, and they're willing to sell a lot of their things, even if it's a collector item, so that way they can sell a set as well. So moving forward, just be careful holding on to this one too long, as yes, right now at $1,100, I would sell definitely at this price point, but that's just me. But thank you for tuning in to today's Market Watch. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Anything I should have covered, anything I missed. But from yours truly, Sparkman, we'll catch you in the next Market Watch. Please subscribe and comment, and peace out, YouTube.